Hey folks, Ariel over here at Nyth, along with a bunch of our critters. Doing a little wood splitting. First, what I'm actually doing is opening up a brick of frozen fish to chop up for everybody to share here. As you can probably see, the animals all pretty well know that this is often yummy stuff that happens over here on the chopping block. So this was fish. Clay is a good friend who likes to fish every single day pretty much in the summer. This is the heads, tails, fins, all that kind of stuff that is left after you fillet a fish, kind of things that are normally thrown away. And he's been nice enough to save them for me, and I put them in the freezer. This is some we'd actually run through the meat grinder, so it's already ground together, but being in a frozen block, it works pretty well for me to chop them up and distribute them here to the waiting creatures in chunks that they can get. I'm not sure where Zipper's at. Velcro doesn't seem to be as big a fish fan as he is, but usually both dogs want some. Come here, Pollywogs. You guys each want a chunk? Here for the camera. Come over here. Over here. Come on. Burley, of course, you guys all know. You want some of that? No? You're not hungry right now? This is Tana. Come here where the camera can see you. Come here. She is Clay's dog, and usually she hangs out with him when he's at work, but sometimes he's doing stuff where he can't take her along, and so she gets to hang out here with us all day. So that's why you don't see her in all the videos. But anyway, just figured before I started on my wood splitting, I'd do this, and I'm going to take some of these smaller crumbs over to Mama Blackie and her chicks are over here in the chicken tractor. I'll be doing an update on how they're doing quite shortly here as I have time, but they're doing great and they get along great with the rest of the flock. But through the course of the day, I have still been pretty much letting them play in there because I'm a little worried about the tiny chicks and a hawk, and actually I'm not sure how the cats would treat them. They're pretty used to, the hens will run off the cats, but I'm just not sure if she can keep track of 9 chicks and the cats all at the same time. So they're safe in there where they're covered and contained, and so that's been working for now. We'll do a chick update. Today I'm doing a little more splitting firewood. It's spitting rain, so that might interrupt me here after a bit. Yes, it's almost the 1st of June. Actually, by the time you see this, it might be the 1st of June. And it's been snowing almost every day so far this spring. We've had a few really hot days. Of course, I've got some really nice knotty rounds of wood left to split. I think this guy looks like an owl face, except he's missing his one ear here for a great horned owl. But it's continued to be cold. A lot of the stuff in the garden is starting to come up. I'm just seeing the first little shoots start to emerge above the surface, but not a lot of growth to show there yet. I've seen repeated requests for an update on how all the trees and bushes are. I will be delighted to do such an update as soon as I know what all's alive and dead. I don't know if you can see in the background there, some of the totally wild, cottonwoods and aspens are just starting to get their little leaves coming out in the last 3 days, because we did have couple warm days, but most things do not have leaves yet, and so I cannot tell you for sure yet how a lot of things are doing, because, you know, when do they look like dead sticks, whether they're alive or dead. So I will be delighted to do an update on that once I know the answer and can show you something. In the meantime, it's just being even a little wet and cool at this point for a Wyoming spring. The wet, of course, is wonderful since we had such a dry winter, and one of these days it will actually start to feel more like spring. The ground was actually white right where I'm standing yesterday for a little bit again, and you can probably see the snow line came partway down the mountain again and back up, and that's kind of what happens around here. But trying to keep doing as many updates and looks at different things we're doing and trying and learning as I can. I'm still splitting firewood because we are still lighting fires because it's pretty much been below freezing every night. We've had a few nights that stayed just above freezing, and when it rains or snows all day and your highs are in the 40s, you probably want a fire in the house. I really picked a trophy to split on camera there. Otherwise, it's exciting to have our new babies. Mama Robin, you guys saw in one of the other videos not too long ago. Her babies have not only hatched, but look like they're about to leave the nest in a day or two. The cats are doing well, the dogs are doing well. The garden's starting to grow slowly, and I'm optimistic that a bunch of our trees will be alive when they start to grow out here. A few of them you can tell already, but a lot of them you kind of have to have you know, a magnifying glass right now to see the little leaf buds coming out. And I suspect that these chickens' high protein diet might be why we're getting so many eggs. We're getting not quite, but almost an egg per day per hen. And for some breeds that's normal. Icelandics, from what I read, are supposed to lay about an egg every other day. And right now we have 14 hens laying since Blackie's still busy taking care of her babies and not laying. And I'm getting 12, 13 eggs a day every day, which is terrific, and almost twice as many as I was expecting. But I do think their diet probably has something to do with it, but it's great. They're kind of buying their own food these days, because I have a few friends who want eggs because that's a little more than we can eat. And I'm sure someone's going to tell me all the different ways to preserve eggs, and I will probably play around with some of them at some point and probably do some videos on it. But at the moment I'm not really feeling any great need to have a bunch preserved. These ladies laid all through the winter with no let up, so we've had continuous fresh eggs. Otherwise, it's been a little challenging to get some of the videos I'd like to do done, because every time I get started doing something, it rains or snows again, and everything turns back into mud, and it becomes not ideal for filming outside projects. I don't know if you're going to notice behind me, golden boy there, the yellowish rooster. He's got a little bit of a limp. He broke his toe, I think, about a week ago. Not sure what he did. It's fine. One time I looked at him. Next time he was limping. He seems to be healing up. He's very determined not to stand still and let Willie, our other rooster, or anybody else run his flock. So he limp walks himself all around the entire property and seems to be healing up. They're pretty tough birds. It's kind of incredible. But if you see him limping, that's what happened. I don't know what he did to hurt his toe, but he is a little bit limpy at the moment. Otherwise, we've also been fairly busy. As you folks know, a few months back I had lost my baby brother. He passed away in a car accident, and just recently I've had several family members visiting. They all kind of planned trips independently of each other without realizing they kind of overlap. So that's made life a little busy. It's fun. It's great to have them here. Got to take my dad and one brother for a hike in the drizzling rain and threatening snow for a little bit while they were here briefly, and had some other friends visiting. And also Clay has had a death of somebody very close to him on his side of the family. His one daughter passed away just a couple days ago, and so it's been also a little bit of a sad time around the place here. It's, you know, exciting to see all the new life of, you know, things starting to bloom and leaf out and flower and the new baby chicks and such. And it's also been a little bit of a time of loss personally for both of us. So yeah, just figured I'd do one of these little chats. Well, I split up some more wood. I think that pile of rounds behind me will probably be the last wood I split for the tiny house for the spring, but who knows, we'll see. It's pretty normal that through the summer I do have a good handful of fires still, because almost every night's below freezing, or, well, not always below, but right at, within a degree or two of, so there's a lot of evenings where it feels good to have a fire. But that's kind of the gist of what's happening around here. So there will just be more of all the videos about the garden, the plants, the property, the chicks, the new growth, cooking and gardening as I have time, and so on. But we are both also busy with some other personal life and family things, so you don't need to worry too much about us. If you don't see something for a couple days, we're probably just really busy. And yeah, I'm trying to think what other questions I've seen asked a lot. I do try to get through all the comments, guys. I really would like to be able to type answers to all of them. I've just found that I can't. As the channel has grown, I realized that was taking me more than 4 hours a day, every day, 7 days a week, and you know, I'm usually outside working at something or other physical all day, and then computer work like that happens in the evenings, or sometimes on a very rainy day. But evening now is getting fairly late as our days get quite long, and so if your evening doesn't start till 10 o'clock at night, there's only so many hours left before you need to get some sleep. So I do my best to get them all read, and if it's a question that is something I've never addressed in a video before, to eventually get around to doing a video answering whatever the question is. But there are, lost count, I think there's 700 something videos on this channel now. So if you are new here, welcome. I know there's new people all the time, and that's exciting. But if you're wondering about a lot of things, there's a frequently asked questions playlist of videos, and then there is also a lot of topical playlists if you want to know something out. Firewood and wood stoves. I've done many videos on that. Done many cooking videos. Foraging and wild foods, food preserving, gardening, various adventures and hikes and backpacks and stuff, wildlife, so on. There's a lot of categories. Composting toilet stuff, whatever. I've tried over the years to get a lot of the questions that people have answered, so go check that stuff out. And I just also wanted to say, you know, a huge thanks to everybody who's following along on the journey here for whichever reasons you enjoy the channel, whether it's, you know, wildlife, or setting up a new homestead, or life in a tiny house, or doing life in a more manual, off-grid, hands-on labor kind of way, or gardening and food, or whatever. or all of the above. I really appreciate you guys being around here, and if you think you're getting valuable information or enjoyment of watching or tips and tricks or whatever, that's great. That's why I do this, and I'd love it if you share them, the info with other people. That's why I do it. It takes me, a certain amount of time to put stuff together, and the more people see it, then the more beneficial it is. So every now and then I have somebody ask me the question, is it okay to share this or that or the other? Yes. Anything I put out there publicly, that's the goal. Share it with as many people as possible. So, anywhere you want to share things, tell your friend, your neighbor, somebody else who lives in your house, email it to somebody, whatever, by all means, go for it. That is the entire purpose of sharing, my experiences here and the ups and downs and things I learned, because I'm hoping to have it be as benefit to as many other people as possible. So please do, and that's also helpful for the channel as a whole. Whether you're on Odyssey or you're still watching on YouTube, or you follow along with the almost daily, except for when I get really slammed, posts on MeWe or Float, where I just share little tidbits of photos and brief descriptions of stuff happening around here on a daily basis. So the folks on there see a little more info a little more frequently than just the videos. And yeah, I just really appreciate that, and it's encouraging every time I get a note or a message from somebody saying that they found some piece of information or some trick or something useful and helpful in their own lives, because that's why I do this. If it's not helpful to anybody else, then I have other things I can do with my time, and so that's always really encouraging for me to hear from people like that. And I hope that it is useful, and some of it is intended to just be sharing the natural beauty, because that's one of the things I absolutely love about this lifestyle, whether it's watching the chickens and the new baby chicks, or the wild birds, or big wildlife like bears and moose, or watching the seasons and the weather change, thunderstorms and snowstorms and all of that. I'm not watching close behind me, but you're probably seeing the clouds change over the mountains back there behind the tiny house. And I just appreciate so much getting to see those things on a regular basis, and I know not everybody is in a place where they can do that. They don't have all the same things right outside their windows or doors or near their property, so I like to share that when I can. And then on the practical skills side of things, a lot of people in my life, from parents and other family members to other people in the community to various folks I've worked with, they've all done, taken a lot of time to show and teach me a huge variety of useful and practical skills in life, and I really appreciate that. And so I don't want to be a dead end for that information and knowledge. I want to pass on as much as I can to anybody else who's interested in the same kinds of things. And if you're not, that's fine. I realize, God boy, I realize some of this stuff is certainly not everybody's thing, and that's great. If you don't enjoy the info or sights and sounds around this channel, I hope you have a wonderful life going and doing things you do enjoy. And that is just fine. But I'm sharing this for the people who do enjoy it. And you are more than welcome to pass it on to, not only welcome, but invited, and it's what I want. Pass on to anyone else you think might enjoy the same kind of things. So that's fun. And another fun thing is every now and then, the tiny house is, a little bit recognizable. More so in the old clearing she was in, since I have a lot more time there than here so far, but every now and then folks send me links where they've seen photos or stories about Nyth, and that's always fun because I don't always know when, you know, people just pick up a story and stuff, or buy a stock photo to use for something. I don't always know when and where it is, so I really enjoy when folks send me those when they spot a little house somewhere. It's fun to see where all she ends up. So I'm just going to be splitting wood here till I get either rained or snowed out, and then probably got to go do a few inside projects like clean up the dishes and such. So I hope you all have a wonderful spring. Just thought it was time for a little chat, and much time as I have, we'll be on, you know, all those other topics I mentioned. I hope you guys are enjoying spring or summer or whatever it is. We're almost turning into really spring here, but I realize a lot of places it's already summer. So you guys have a great day.
We hope you enjoyed it.
Come back next time for more adventures.
Thanks for watching.